All right, here we go. So an example of a problem from the quiz was like x minus 2 times x plus 7 equals 0. Some people just put x minus 2, x plus 7. All right. If a product equals 0, the zero product property says to set each of these equal to 0. Yes, yes, yes. And then solve. Well, add 2, x equals 2. Subtract 7, x equals negative 7. Those are your zeros. 2 and negative 7. Those are the x values where the parabola hits the x-axis. Okay.
Or if you just put the answer, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't think they actually set them equal to 0 on some of these. Some people did. All right. Now, do you think there's ever a scenario where you get a ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0? You get a quadratic function that doesn't factor nicely. Do you think that's possible?
Yes.
Okay. Let's play a little game. Ready? Blank x squared plus blank x plus blank equals 0. Give me an A.
7.
Give me a B.
35.
I like 4. 4.
Give me a C.
0.208.
0.
We're looking for numbers that multiply to 7 times 0.208 and add to 4. Good luck. All right?
Thank you.
All right, we're not doing that. All right, we don't have time for that. But do you see what I'm getting at here? There's a chance this isn't very nicely factorable. It's okay. Smart mathematicians way long time ago came up with something called the quadratic formula that finds the zeros for messy quadratics. Do you see this B? Where do you think that B comes from? That's right. The alphabet, right there. B. Ready? Keep going. Where do you think this B comes from?
The alphabet.
That's right, that B. Where do you think this A comes from?
The A alphabet.
The A right there. You guys, in all seriousness. Where do you think that C comes from?
That C right there?
That C right there. And that A? That A right there. Guess what? If you can plug numbers in here and simplify, you will still get the zeros of the parabola. Okay? Yeah. It's okay. There's a little song. Are you ready? It goes along with Frere Jacques. Do you know Frere Jacques?
Yeah. Maybe.
Negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. B squared minus 4ac over 2a
Over 2.
over 2a.
X equals. I'll just write it.
That's going to be the warm up to the musical if you're planning on coming. Beauty and the Beast. Okay. The whole crowd's going to get warmed up with the quadratic formula. All right. So here's what I recommend doing. Can you guys make me a promise?
Promise? Promise?
Every time you do one of these problems, write down the generic quadratic formula and you'll have it memorized by the time you're done. Ready? X equals.
Minus B.
It's let's say opposite of B. Opposite of B. Because what if B is negative? It's going to be opposite of the negative, right? Plus or minus. Oh, that's another thing you guys missed a lot of. When you square root, when you took the square root, you had to put plus or minus, right? The square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. We can do it in a round. All right. First thing I would do after you write down the quadratic formula is to label A, B, C. What's A?
1.
Good. What's B?
1.
Negative 1, and C is
20.
Negative 20.
negative 20. Yeah, put those signs on the values. So here we go. Let's plug it into the formula. X equals Well, I'm going to put the opposite sign out front, but it's the opposite of -1. If you feel comfortable going straight to +1, I'm okay with that. Plus or minus the square root. What are we squaring? Nope. -1 squared, parentheses, minus 4 times 1 times -20 over 2 times a, which is 1. Is everybody understanding where I'm getting these numbers from and where I'm putting them?
Yes.
All right. Now, this one we may not need a calculator for. Let's see. Here we go. Opposite of -1.
1.
+1. Plus or minus the square root. Let's do the inside of the square root. What's -1 squared? 1. And then what's -4 times 1 times -20? Positive 80. All over. What's 2 times 1? 2. Keep going. X equals 1 plus or minus. What's the square root of 81? Do you see how the plus or minus is already out front? What's the square root of 81?
9.
9. 9 times 9 is 81. Over 2 plus u. Now, we're going to get how many answers here? 2. Let's do the x equals 1 plus 9 over 2. X equals 1 minus 9 over 2. What's 1 plus 9? Over 2. 5. What's x? Okay, 1 minus 9. Careful. -8 over 2. -4. Those are your answers. Those are your answers. Make sense? Be honest. Yes.
What does that tell us about the gravel, guys? They would hit what? Gravel would hit at 5-0 and what? Good job.
All right. Write down the quadratic formula and label A, B, and C. And then we'll do it together.
Forever.
So first we're going to write the generic one. Yes, yes, yes. Did we get that? All right, let's plug it in. Now, you're going to get more comfortable with this. You'll be able to say, what's the opposite of B? What's the opposite of 5? So you get -5. Plus or minus the square root of 5 squared minus 4 times 6 times -4. All over 2 times 6. -5. Plus or minus. All right, I want you to give me the number inside parentheses after it's all simplified. What did you get inside the square root? What did you get?
Plus or minus 56. Did I do that wrong?
I'll take other answers. Just check. Let's check. What did you get inside the square root?
What'd you say?
Not plus or minus. Plus or minus is outside the square root. What's inside the square root, Matthew?
Would be 11.
I hear 11.
Inside the square root.
Okay, what's inside the square root? 5 squared minus 4 times 6 times -4. Now, guys, you have to be able to do the order of operations. What should I do first? 5 squared. What's 5 squared? 25. What should I do next? Don't do subtraction. Do the multiplication first. Multiply these together.
-37.
4 times 6 times -4. 4 times 6 is already 24. Times another 4. Times a -4. Guys, you have calculators in front of you. Like, worst case scenario, you're doing this. Okay, here's my first question. Are you typing in this negative, or are you holding on to it for a minute? This negative. How many of you are typing it in right now? Okay, then whatever the sign is going to go right next to the 25. You all agree? You all agree? Okay. So if you're typing it in, you're doing this. You're doing -4 times 6 times -4. Yes? 96. So what goes here? Plus or minus?
Plus.
You already typed in the negative sign. The negative times the negative made it a plus. You already typed it in. Do you agree? Option 2, 25 minus, and then you do 4 times 6 times -4, and that would be a -96, and then you make the minus a negative a plus. Does that make sense? But if you already typed in the negative, don't do it again. All right? Okay.
So I just put the whole thing in with parentheses. Is that
If you're careful, it's fine. So if you do this, 5 squared minus parentheses 4 times 6 times -4. What do you get? And what's that? That's 25 plus 96. So if you type it in all at once, you should get the same thing. Just be careful, right? I mean, be careful and you should be fine. It's all over what? 12. Good. So we have x equals -5 plus or minus, what's the square root of 121? 11. All over 12. Break it up into 2 parts. X equals -5 plus 11 over 12. X equals -5 minus 11 over 12. All right, do this one on your own. -5 plus 11 over 12. What'd you get? Zachary? 1/2. 0.5. 1/2 is fine. What'd you get for -5 minus 11 over 12? Matthew?
Maybe 1.3.
Positive or negative?
Negative.
-1.3 repeating. Or maybe you got -16/12 or -4/3. All of those are fine. And those are the what again? Those are the 2 points where the parabola It's the x-axis. Very good. Make sense? All right, you're gonna try this one all on your own. Just a hypothetical question while you're working. What happens if you get a negative inside the square root on one of these problems?
Ooh.
Can you take the square root of a negative?
No.
No. So what does that mean about the parabola?
No.
Ooh, you guys are so smart.
So it doesn't hit the what?
Exactly.
Nice job, guys. Nice job. What's it again? Negative b plus or minus square root of what? Minus, whoops. Whoa, this thing's crazy. Minus 4
Not 4. Minus
AC 2 times A, right? Yep. You always want to do this first, guys. Oh, make sure it's, in standard form here. Always make sure of that. What's A, guys? B
3.
and C?
-7.
Okay. I'll just fill it in, see while you guys are working. Let's see. What do we got?
Whoa.
What'd you guys get here?
37.
37? Guys, what'd you get? Round the hundreds place. What'd you get square root of 37? 6.08? Is everybody good with that? Okay. So we just have 2 problems. Use your. So what's my first answer, guys? What's negative 3 plus 6.08 divided by 2 to hundreds place? What'd you get, Matt?
120.54.
Is everybody good with that?
I got 4.4.
It's not going to be negative. I look at this right here. It's negative 6, this first one. Negative 3 plus 6 is going to take us to the positive side. So it's going to be positive. Right? What do we got? What is it?
getting 4 point.
Okay, now what about this one? Now this one's going to be negative, right? Negative what? Negative 4 point. Thank you. Okay, so there. Whoa. What?
I get angry about the quadratic formula.
You can. Don't get angry. Just plug in, watch your signs, get the square root.
And again, if you get a negative under the square root, just no solutions. Could you get one solution? Yeah, we'll talk more in detail about that tomorrow. Do you have a worksheet for homework, right?
Oops. I got stuff for tomorrow. I think there's no worksheet for today.
Hold on, I think it's up here. Nope.
I thought this was their.
The rest of it?
To finish it up,
I thought.
how many more were there that we didn't get to?
3 or 4?
We skipped one on the time. Perfect. If you guys could just finish up the problems on the guided notes, that'll be great practice. It'll be due when you walk in tomorrow.
Are the things that we did for the quizzes that we did 2 days ago, are they in the grade book or no? Could I see
Not yet.
my grade?
Mr. Parker is still grading some of them.
Okay.
There you go. Have a great day.